This episode is brought to you by Greyblock Pizza. Greyblock, it's a fantastical choice to make with your mouth. What is your mouth and your hand doing right now? Who knows, right? You do. And they could be doing Greyblock Pizza. Greyblock Pizza is just a mouth and hand program, and all they're doing is just shipping Italian food back and forth between each other. Greyblock Pizza, 1811 Pico Boulevard in Los Angeles. Also, in Bend, Oregon, they have Bronx Born Pizza, and that's their sister pie company. So they're teammates. Greyblock and Bronx Born, get them hitters. You hear that, guys? You hear that in the distance? That's Brendan Schaub and Brian Callens. And they're next door, dude, arguing about something. Probably, one of them has sciatica and one of them, doesn't know something. I mean, that's basically kind of the two of them. But, and you can guess which one's which. That's up to you, dude. And that's one of the beauties about America is that you get to make your own choices. But if you hear something loud coming through the walls, we share a wall with the fighter and the kids. And that's Brendan Schaub and Brian Callens. Two adults, but depends on who you ask. This weekend, June 23rd, I'll be at Temblor Brewing Company, and that's in Bakersfield, California. Next weekend, I'll be in Stark County, Illinois. The following weekend, I'll be in Oxnard, California. Then I'll be in China, Shanghai, and Xiamen, and some other place. I'll also be in Raleigh, Minneapolis, Chicago, Nashville, Toronto, Appleton, and Buffalo. You can get all those tickets at theovon.com/tour, T-O-U-R. And I thank you very much for coming out to the shows. All right, today's brought to you by Ridge Wallet, ridgewallet.com. Some people carry something in their pocket and they don't even know what the fuck it is, dude. Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's a wallet. And they keep it in their back pocket, and that's so archaic. Who are you, huh? Who are you, dude? A senior citizen? Are you a pirate or somebody, a Neanderthal? Because the new thing is that front pocket carry. And that front pocket carry is basically the Ridge wallet. You keep it in your front pocket. So no more laying in bed at night worrying if a pickpocket is going to get you. Because if a pickpocket gets you in the front, then something's wrong with you. The Ridge wallet, go to ridgewallet.com/Theo, T-H-E-O. Today's guest is a musician, and I met him at the world famous Comedy Store. And this will be the first conversation he and I have ever had here today. He's a devout husband, and he's a survivor, I think. He's got one of the most famous anthems, if you will, and that is "We're Not Gonna Take It." And there's something just about this man that in his life I don't think he was gonna take it. And he's just relentless. I'm so happy to have him in here today, and even though I'm wearing a different shirt because the intro did it on a different time, but I'm so happy to have this beautiful twisted sister, because I have two twisted sisters, this beautiful twisted sister, Mr. Dee Snider. Shine that light on me. I'll sit and tell you my stories. He's so good, man.
We're not canning it. I like the cans.
Yeah, let's go cans, man. Yeah, so you got that beaver, man.
Yeah, I'm debuting the new look. Okay, this is what happened.
Okay.
So I was just in an airport lounge, had a long layover, and I was just bored to tears. Mm-hmm. And I'm just sitting there, and I just see this guy walking with a Slayer t-shirt on. And I'm just watching him. And I'm watching him. I'm not being creepy or anything. I'm just sort of just sitting there, I'm going, no way this guy's a Slayer fan. I just, after about a half hour of physical action, I mean, maybe I'm being judgmental, maybe I'm saying, but I said, this is one of those guys wearing those shirts.
Right.
So I just tweeted casually. I said, it's like, it ain't cool. All these people wearing
the posers,
wearing our shirts, wearing the metal shirts. Mm-hmm. Ironically, they're being ironic about it.
Yeah.
It's not ironic.
Right.
It's our life. It's our lifestyle. We literally used to fight to wear these shirts, And it was just a passing. I wasn't trying to make a big statement. It was just like I was just bored and just tweeted. Blew up. thousands and thousands, picked up international news. Dee Snider lashes out at Kanye West and the Kardashians. And I didn't mention anybody by name if you want to take it personal. So anyway, recently, then people fight. I say, hey, you know what? Anybody wears a shirt's cool. I said, you know what? If they're wearing our shirts, I'm going to wear their shirts.
I like that.
I'm rocking the Bieber.
I like that.
I got me a 84 Madonna Like a Virgin tour shirt.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to rock that on stage. It's a monster metal festival.
I love
it.
it.
I mean, it's time. If they're gonna exploit our shit,
let's go back at them.
let's go back at them. Fight fire with fire.
I
As
like
they
that.
say.
I want to see you in an Ariana Grande. I might have to see.
Oh, an Ariana Grande.
I'm gonna have to pick a couple.
That gets a little. I got to be careful.
Yeah.
On the creepy scale.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like 60-something dude wearing like some, is she prepubescent? She's seen whatever.
No, I think she's
close.
adult.
She's borderline.
She may be borderline.
She's borderline.
Do you start to feel like a creepy old dude? You don't seem, bro. You seem so hip. It's crazy.
Well, that's pretty cool. Thanks. Do I feel it? Not at all. But when you've got 4 kids, and my daughter's 21, and out and about and having a good time, and I've got grandkids now.
Yeah.
And one's 9, the girl's 9, and you guys got to start checking yourself and saying, okay, it doesn't matter how you feel, you got to remember what
The
you
reality.
actually, the reality of what you are. Be cool with that. Like, I don't wear shirts that say fuck on them anymore. I mean, it used to be just like a thing.
Right.
Fuck you, fucking insane, fuck you, you fucking fuck. It was just like, how many fuck shirts could you have?
Yeah.
And now someone says, hey, it's a really cool fuck shirt. It's like, you know what? I'm a grandpa.
Right.
I'm not wearing the fuck shirt.
Right.
I'm drawing a line there. Up yours, sure, but fuck no.
Yeah. Darn.
Darn. No, I'm not going darn.
Darn's a little too
dang,
soft.
Dang.
Dang.
Where you come from, that dang was a word.
It's a little more dang.
That's
yeah.
actually a word. Where
Yeah.
you come. Where'd you grow up? You
grew
talked
up
about it. I just want to say, I saw Theo at the Comedy Store and just knocked me out. I mean, you see a whole bunch of comedians up there, and there were some good guys up there, but you came out, just attitude, everything. My wife, my friends were just like, wow, this guy's got it going on. And so I just tweeted about him, and Theo
Dude, I
reached
appreciate
out.
that.
It was
man.
cool.
That means a lot coming
And
from
then
you.
it turns out you got like a really hot podcast and everything.
We're doing great, man. And look, I'm so grateful that you came in, man. Everything's been going cool. Been figuring it out. But yeah, I mean, I grew up on metal music. I grew up like when they had like the hip parade. Remember those magazines? Do you remember?
Hit Parader, yeah, man.
Dude, do you remember? I remember in those magazines, those guys would be like bloodied and they'd be on tour. They'd show like, all sweaty and fucked up, or like the musicians looked like.
It was grimy. It was grimy.
It was grimy.
Yeah.
They were gladiators, it more looked like. Whereas
I
now,
sure felt like one with the shoulder pads, I'll tell you.
whereas now though, you wouldn't see that same. It was like about drugs and about partying. Like it seemed like it had all these grungy elements.
It was a different time for sure, and now I don't know if you know what you know about me or don't know about me, but I never did any drugs. I never drank.
Right.
Clean, sober, and fucking crazy. That was a t-shirt I used to wear all the time. But I have my brain cells intact.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't get, I had all these people go, they were like, they thought life was like a sprint. I'm going, dude, it's a marathon.
Yeah.
I ain't going for 27. I'm going for 87. And now they're all like, I'm living healthy now, dude. It's a little late.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm a great observer about what was going on, and it was the decade of decadence.
Yeah.
And that's why it's looked back on so fondly by young people. No, at the shows, it's half younger people, because that era had something that they're just not finding today. Not finding the music today, not finding the music scene. It doesn't have any glamour to it. And I'm not talking about lipstick only.
Yeah.
It had a lot of lipstick.
Yeah.
But it just didn't have that sexuality and that, I call it the middle finger factor.
Yeah.
I was wearing t-shirts that fuck you. It's just like, that was life. Like, fuck you. We're going to have a good time.
And people lived like that.
Yeah. It was just a general attitude, and it was a very conservative time. You had the Reagan era. You had that censorship stuff going on, the PMRC.
Oh, yeah,
I remember my shows down. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up down in Louisiana. I grew up just like north of New Orleans, probably about an hour. So kind of rural, not redneck, but rural.
Like he doesn't say Nolans. He's not home, so he's not saying
Yeah,
Nolans.
no, I'm not throwing that
He's not
in
getting
there.
down.
Yeah.
But but down south, I was arrested for profanity and abusive language, and I've been cursing like a blue streak, so I'm guessing it's not a problem.
No, it's perfect.
And I got arrested in Texas, Amarillo, Texas. And now, I'm a New York guy, street guy, literally in the early days, wearing women's clothing in biker bars. I mean, and just fighting your way to your car every night. I mean, I get, down and dirty. And so suddenly, so we're still those guys. We're still those biker guys, and just weird motherfuckers. But now all of a sudden we become famous, but we don't realize the change has happened. So now we're crossing over into the mainstream. So moms and dads are starting to bring little Johnny and little Janie to the show because they like the funny videos.
Right.
But we're still like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So I get in an argument with a guy, Amarillo, Texas, 1984, and he's just giving me shit. And I just give him the biggest New York fuck you, I can. Suck my motherfucking dick. Okay, that's like in New York, it's not literally like that's what you want to do. It's a statement of that's what I think of you.
Yeah.
That's what I think of you. Well, boo! Mother runs out with Johnny, gets a cop, press charges. I'm arrested. I'm taken in, abusive language, disorderly conduct. And now, so I get bailed out. We go to the next town. And now the word is spreading.
Word spread.
Now here's the word that spread. This is not social media. This is telephone.
Yeah.
And this is on the news. Lead singer of Twisted Sister Dee Snider invited underage girls on stage to perform oral sex on them. I'm like, whoa!
Wow.
I'm like, what? I was actually talking to a dude.
Yeah.
But now it's but they're going, couldn't have possibly said that to a guy, so he must have been talking to an underage girl.
Right. It couldn't even have happened.
Yeah. In
order to keep the news Christian, they have to not even put that in there.
So there's pickets and protests, and they're trying to bring down the walls of Jericho down there.
But now, did this infuse? This must have excited you, though.
I'm gonna be your hero in like 2 seconds. If I'm not your hero already, I'm gonna be your hero. Because remember, I'm clean and sober.
Yeah.
So the cops are there. The place is surrounded. They've got the papers filled out. They're ready to take my ass in because I curse a blue streak, obviously. But I'm in total control. I'm not like some drunk dude doing it. I know what I'm saying. So there's a book by, and I'm forgetting the guy's name, but it'll come to me. But where it was in the 70s, and he replaced the names of all the Supreme Court, of all the curse words in his book. He took the names of Supreme Court justices and put their names instead of curses. So one Supreme Court justice was fuck, another Supreme Court justice was shit.
I like that.
Okay? Gore Vidal, the writer's name is Gore Vidal. So he wrote Myra Breckenridge. He's a big writer. So I go on stage. I said, hey, look around. You see all these cops? Everybody's waiting to take me in for cursing, but I ain't going to do it. What's the mayor's name? Somebody yelled, Miller. I said, all right. So every time I say Miller, you know that I'm saying, and the crowd says, fuck you. Nice. And when I say Mother Millerer, you know I'm saying, motherfucker. Well, I went the whole show using the mayor's name instead of the F-bomb.
Love that.
And they are beside themselves. And I'm dancing, and I'm like, hey, Mother Miller. Mother Miller. And then everybody's roaring. Next show's completely canceled.
No, really?
They couldn't get me. So then they just started canceling our shows down south. So,
but at that point, did that even magnify things? Because, that controversy, does that magnify things to like a level where you're like, oh, this has started something awesome? Or did it really feel like you were shut, like you had screwed up?
I didn't think I'd screwed up because that was what I did. And it was, we saw that this thing was going on with censorship and these Washington Wives, PMRC, and we're going, well, I don't know. To us, it was like business as usual. Yeah. I mean, this is like, we're crazy motherfuckers, and and we're having a good time. And we never expected Twisted fucking Sister to be a household word and pop stars, but that happened.
Yeah.
So that's where it got weird. We started crossing over. I remember getting a fan letter. My favorite bands are Kaja Gugu, Culture Club, Duran Duran, and Twisted Sister. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, uh-oh.
Just to be in that list?
No, I knew that was bad.
Oh.
I knew that was anything that was going to turn off our core audience was standing shoulder to shoulder with some Kaja Gugu fan.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So I knew things were going south. But it was just this time. Like, do I need more coffee, you think? I'm fully caffeinated, people. I was nearly kicked out of Twisted Sister for being too caffeinated.
Really?
Yeah.
But were you born with this? So obviously your idol is pretty high. I'm almost 2 years sober. Like in July, I'll be 2 years sober, right?
Yeah.
But you were born. I mean, did you know that if you got into drugs and alcohol, that something was you were already lit from the inside?
Yeah, but I had a come to Jesus moment.
Right.
The first time I drank, I was 14, and I got so drunk. I was on the floor, comatose, vomiting, and I was just laying there, and people are laughing at me like it's Carrie, you know, and I'm just like, dear God, please let me, if I ever walk again, I swear off demon alcohol. But I have had oddly wise moments in my life. I've had incredibly stupid ones too. So I'm not claiming to be, Yoda or something.
Yeah.
But at 14, I just said, you couldn't stop yourself. You didn't just have a drink at the party. You drank until you were crippled.
Right. And you recognize that
This is
immediately.
my personality.
I see.
So it's like, when I drink coffee and I've cut back, but I used to drink 3 full pots a day and 3 big ones from Dunkin' Donuts. Wow. So I was like, I had like an 18 cup a day high. I'd fall asleep on the couch at night with like my 4th cup of coffee in my hand, like not out, grinding my teeth like a Coke freak, rubbing my gums, going, oh, those beans are good. But I just recognized, I said, you just better not go near drugs.
And no you knew that about yourself immediately. So
14. I just said, stay away.
Wow.
And I did forever.
Did you already? Do you feel like you've had a keen sense of self-management pretty well? Because that's an early thing to notice at 14. I didn't notice that for myself until I was about 35, 36. That some things I didn't handle well. But to notice that at 14.
Okay. Well, I'm going to brag for a minute, and then I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say, you're going to say, whoa, this guy, unusually focused for such a young man. And then I'm just going to go and shit all over how focused I am. So the other thing I did was I knew I was going to be famous. Knew it. And I had this fear any girl I met once I was famous, I would never know if she truly loved me for me.
Oh, wow. It's a real thing.
Okay. So I'm like late teens now. I meet a girl, screaming hot Brooklyn Italian girl.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I love that.
By the time I found out she was 15, I was 21. It was too late. Mob princess the family threatened to kill me on the first day.
Awesome. That makes it even harder, I feel like.
But she wanted to kill me. Maybe harder. It's like an element of like you're cheating death.
Oh, look, I can fuck easier when I'm ducking bullets, dude. My dick stays hard when there's bullets in the air.
That old school, man. It was like, I went on Saw Sunday to meet the family. I walk in, she's 15, fucking 38 Ds, man. I mean, and she's like, there's a reason why in medieval times, girls were getting knocked up at like 15. I mean, in Romeo and Juliet, if the mother says you're 14, you better find a man. You're going to be an old maid soon at 14. Okay, so she's bam, and I go show up. Sopranos are there Sunday. They threatened to put me in the bottom of a lake. But
and you showed up.
I showed up 21, pants so tight, you can not only tell I'm circumcised, you could tell who did the work. I mean, you go, oh yeah, that's Dr. Schwanz. He cuts them a little bit on an angle, So, I mean, holy shit. And 6-inch pink platform shoes, hair out to here. I ain't famous.
And that's not even her. You're talking about yourself.
That's me. I'm not come like rocking that. Hey, yo, what's up? And they sit me down. Oh, yes, have a seat. Whole family's there. Dude, it was like The Sopranos. And I was like, and I think I can handle families. No problem. Yo, what's up? And they're like, yeah. Slowly, like all the moms and aunts and uncles, and all of a sudden just sitting there with like these gorillas.
The men.
And they're like, all right, what do you want with a 15-year-old girl? I can't tell them the truth. So I start like, I'm laying out. Well, I'm kind of immature for my age. And she's mature for her age. She says, cut the shit. Says, you lay one hand on my daughter and this family will hunt you down to the four corners of the earth and put you in the bottom of a lake. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Now I was wearing skin-tight baby blue pants. Yeah. There's a dark blue spot that's just spreading out right around the crotch area. And I remember I'm going, Snider, because I am gone. This girl has got me I'm gone. Oh, yeah. Mentally, I'm committed. And I'm just like, yes, sir, I understand. I know what you're saying. So, that was 42 years ago. And, but the thing was, she wanted nothing to do with me. She was repulsed by me. She didn't own a stereo. She didn't own a record, a tape. She didn't care about music. She didn't care about rock and roll. She just snuck in on a dare with some friends into a club. And we're not famous. There's 7 people there to see Twisted Sister. And I'm wearing Daisy Dukes, stockings, thigh-high leather boots, and a t-shirt that says, I'm Dee, blow me. Okay, that's and she walks up to the front and smiles. I'm thinking she digs me because that's the international sign of she wants you.
Yeah.
She's smiling because I'm wearing Daisy Dukes and a t-shirt that says I'm Dee, blow me, and I'm like 7 feet tall. I'm a freak. So anyway, she was too afraid not to give me your phone number. She gave me a number. Anyway, I just said, if I win this girl's heart, it's going to be for the right reasons, and I'll have someone I know loves me for me.
Wow.
And
not the case.
With that all said, no, I had nothing. She was there. I had everything. She was there. When I lost it all, she was there. I never thought for a minute she was going anywhere. And today, 42 years later, we're still like, I want her heart. We're crazy about each other, and it's all good.
Really?
So I seem like a genius. All right. By 1988, I made millions of dollars. I wrote every song. I'm clean. I'm sober. I'm in control. I'm running the show. Mm-hmm. And I completely blow it. I blow all the money. I'm broke. I've got 3 kids now. I got a wife, and I'm riding a bicycle to a desk job in 1992, answering phones for $200 a week.
Did you answer them with a little bit of swagger, though? Tell me you did.
Oh no, man! People were walking in, and they go, "Hey, it's 92." Oh. I just sort of, I mean, it's only been a few short years, and everybody's going, "Hey, aren't you?" And I'm going, "No." Look just like him, right? And they're going, holy shit, it's uncanny. And I'm going, I know. If only there was a way to make a living doing that. Maybe I should move to Vegas. So it was.
Was it shame? Like, now at that moment, are you feeling like,
shame.
Shame?
Shame, man. I am embarrassed. I am humbled. I am humiliated. And mind you, on the way up, I was megalomaniac. I was out of my fucking mind. I thought it was never going to end, so that's why I didn't stop spending the money.
Yeah.
I was sure the next record, the next tour, I'm going to, I got this.
And were you living flash? Like, were you buying animals? Were you buying like,
Not really. I had 7 cars, 2 boats kind of thing, and and a big house, but I wasn't like, I'm living like a rock star.
Yeah.
And when things start like getting a little wobbly, the ego that drove you there, that made you believe when nobody believed that you're going to make it, will not let you believe that it's over.
Yeah.
So, and when you start saying, okay, let me hold on to the money and let's get a smaller house, hon, and get rid of some of these extra cars, which would have been the smart move, but not for a rock star man. So I just ran it completely in the ground. I had 1 year where my tax return said 0 on it. $0. I was living off borrowing money. But, just started scrambling and went into everything: radio, TV, movies, acting, voiceover.
You've been so look, man, you have done. Yeah, I'm looking through some of your history, and it's like, wow, this guy has been a businessman. Do you ever feel like, because I'm sure, like it seems like you've worn a lot of hats. You've done it all. A lot. But was it ever problematic for you that, because sometimes when you wear a lot of hats, you feel, you want to control things, right? You're good at controlling things for yourself. Was it ever tough to switch on the music hat and then be the musician? Like, was it ever?
I got real good at splitting. Like, before the crash, I was myopic. I'm a headbanger. I rock. This is what I do. Focus. I wrote all the songs, did all the videos. Oh, by the way, just a little side note, Suzette, my wife, she did all the costumes, hair, makeup,
that's awesome.
The Bone logo. So she became like sort of this little woman behind the man, like supporting what I did.
Beautiful.
But so I wouldn't listen, think, even observe anything else except what I was about. And then when the crash happened, desperation sets in, and now mind you, you got the crash and grunge, The Cure, for hair metal. It's like you studied a form of medicine and you spend your life dedicated to research and finding the cure. They find the cure. They go, yeah, we don't need your services anymore. You're like, what? Yeah, we're not doing that. What do you mean we're not doing that? Who says that to a musician? We're not doing that anymore. They literally said, we're not doing that anymore.
And you're like, this
we're
is
not
music.
dressing like you, singing like you, performing like you, acting like you, looking like you. We're not doing it anymore. And this is all I know how to do. So
did you consider changing your stilo?
I tried a little bit. This is interesting because it kind of leads to my new album.
Yeah.
For the Love of Metal. But I formed a band. Well, I had a post-twisted band called Desperado. Huge bidding war on it. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars spent by me and the record company, and the project gets shelved due to politics within the label. And that was the first bankruptcy. Then I formed a band called Widowmaker. Now grunge is coming in. Second Widowmaker album. I'm like studying grunge. I'm going, okay, I got to get grungy. I got to get grungy. And I'm, changing my hair and, and then like the first review comes out, says, sounds like your uncle's trying to make a modern metal record. And they were right. I was no longer like leading the pack. I was trying to imitate the pack. So in 95-ish, I said, you know what? I guess, fair enough. I had fun. My time's done. And I went into, as I said, radio, voiceover, all these writing movies, all kinds of things. And I stopped writing. And I haven't written music since then at all. Until I meet Jamie Josta from Hatebreed, and he challenges me to do a contemporary metal record on his podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie almost came in here and taped when he was in town last time.
Jamie's great.
Jamie is great, man. He's a hard worker and he's a really nice guy.
Great guy.
He made the music for the Greyhound Breakdown too.
Oh yeah, we had a special episode where we had a Greyhound bus driver come in, and it was our first guest ever. Actually, we've only had 6 guests, and
You've only had 6? I'm honored.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've had some greats, man. We just had we've had all walks of life actually in the 6, and it's been really awesome. But yeah, it was he made us some music for that he made himself, and super sweet guy. But I have this question. So when you hit those lows, like when you hit those, because man, it sounded like you just, whatever was inside of you when you were born, it was like this rocket ship, and you just grabbed onto yours, just rode it to the fucking moon.
Yeah, but it was incredibly, okay. Start over, D. Oh, this is live? Whatever it is.
And
no,
this
it's
isn't
fine.
streaming. This is all, we can edit out anything
No, I don't
later,
care.
whatever.
No, I always say that. Start over, D. No, Ozzy Osbourne, the quote is saying, I was born lucky. And I love Ozzy, and I'm a fan. So please don't get freaked out. But I'm an Emperor's New Clothes guy. I'm the guy who's going to tell you the Emperor's got no clothes on because I'm not going to split here and just kiss up for the sake of kissing up. But Ozzy has stumbled through life, and constantly stumbles. Like he pisses on the fucking Alamo, and it's a media heyday for him.
Yeah,
it's image defining. He eats a bite. He pulls supposed to be a live dove out of his pocket, throws it, and it's dead. It died in his pocket. He's so wasted, he doesn't know what to do. He's in front of a whole bunch of executives. He bites the head off. Legend. Okay, so he.
Anybody else bites the head off a dove, they're homeless.
Homeless. And Ozzy's career is made. Solo career is made. Bit the head off of a. So he's stumbled through life, and he's been picked up, carried, and he says it himself. He's just been blessed and lucky.
Yeah.
And I am not. I have just been oppressed, and it's just sheer force of will that I keep just ramming through. There's a documentary on Twisted Sister called We Are Twisted Fucking Sister, and it's very highly rated, and even if you're not a fan, it's worth watching because the band started in 1973.
Wow.
You all learned if you were around 84. Do the math, people. That's a long fucking time to hold it together and refuse to give up. I look back, I said, shit, if I knew in advance, I would have been a doctor or something with all those years.
Yeah.
But we just refuse to give up. And that's just, people say, wow, man, you've had a lot of success. It's just because I keep smash my head against the wall until the wall gives up. You know?
And when you have those moments where you get into tough spots, who do you go to for comfort then? Is that Suzette? Is that or is it just that you have always been self-soothing? Like how do you, because to not have drugs and alcohol, a lot of people when there's crashes and there's those tough moments, those are the first things they go to. So how do you manage through some of those tougher moments?
Well, I'm a narcissist, so
Right.
yeah, I mean that's what started. So I'm my biggest fan. God gave me long arms so I could constantly pat myself on the back. But Suzette has also been incredibly supportive, and just said like when the whole bottom fell out, and we had these 3 kids. She's a professional makeup artist, hairdresser. She's a FIT graduate. And she just like said, all right, I'll get a job at a local hair salon.
Wow.
And she had never worked in a hair salon before, but she knew she could get one. And I stayed with the kids and on weekends she would go out and do makeup for weddings for $100 cash. And weeknights I'd fly her cars at these catering halls. I remember one time running from security in a parking lot of a catering hall. They're chasing me, and I'm running not because I'm afraid to go in a catering hall jail. There's no such thing, but I'm running because I don't want them to recognize me because I'm still Dee Snider. I look like Dee Snider. Yeah. If you find another one, let me know. And I don't want to go, Dee, what are you doing in a parking lot, putting flyers on cars in the rain? I mean, it was that desperate. But Suzette, she just said, go out and do makeup, whatever it took. But so she's been like incredibly supportive, but also that person that we don't want in our lives who will tell us no when we need to hear no.
Oh, wow.
Will tell us we're wrong. And we nearly broke up at some point because I'm, 85. Word no. Nobody said no to Dee Snider at 85.
Cruising.
I'm king of the damn world.
Cruising.
And she's still sitting there going, yeah, no. And I'm going, you know what?
Right.
Fuck you. No one says no to me. And motherfucker. And we nearly came apart. But then I got humbled.
Yeah.
And I changed my tune. And
where do you get the bravado? Where do you first see that? Because it almost has a little bit of, and I'm not, you certainly seem like your own missile, but it reminds me a little bit of like Dice Clay, but with some more of actual.
I was kind of doing Dice. I was actually doing Dice because Dice has sort of perfected the New York bravado thing, which is really weird with Dice and great guy. But he's one of those guys like Marilyn Manson, who became
the
character. Dice used to be, the Dice Man was a part of his comedy act. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Andrew Clay would get up there, and he would do impersonations. He'd do Travolta, he'd do De Niro. He does great impressions, and then he would do the Dice Man, and it became such a thing. He started going out and doing the Dice Man, but then he became the Dice Man.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, Manson was the same way. Marilyn Manson was a performance art thing. He's Brian Warner from Ohio, the marching band, and him and Twiggy. They all had these personas that they're living in Florida now, putting on personas, and they do this thing on stage. But then all of a sudden, he is Marilyn Manson full time.
Yeah, Dice is himself full time. Like now when I see him at the store, he's not even friendly anymore to people. Like, I mean, he gave a nice like eulogy like speech at Mitzi Shore, the mother of the Comedy Store when she passed away. He was there and he gave this really great thing on stage. But whenever I see him just around the club, he's not. It's almost like he does seem like an angry. It's like he became his character, and then his character isn't even doing that great anymore, and he's just this angry character of himself.
Oh God, I feel like I'm beating up on Dice here. Dice, we're not beating up on you here. But what happens is that character doesn't necessarily age well.
Right.
So you become the old version of the character.
Yeah.
Which is a character unto itself.
Yeah.
We've seen in these movies and stuff where we've seen they portrayed these old Brooklyn dudes who are still, they still walking with the greased back hair and they still got it. And then you become, instead of like imitating them, you are becoming them.
Yeah.
Them. It's weird.
Yeah, it's like, and especially if you get stuck in a character, the character can't go anywhere really.
How do you get out of the
Right.
character?
And who does a character doesn't really get older, and it must feel like it always has to kind of stay in this space where it can exist, in this spot, in this almost in this expanse of time. So as a regular person, Andrew Clay could get older and adapt and become a different person, but that character does Dice can't ever die.
Well,
so he's got to stay.
And for me, Dee Snider had to grow and mature somehow and become, I hate to, I'll use it, elder statesman of rock. But one of the things was, I started wearing my hair pulled back. I started because didn't want to be recognized, but then it just started like, okay, that was then, this is now. I didn't want to be one of those guys who's still walking around with the fast, quickly thinning bouffant.
Yeah.
Because you see the hair it doesn't look as luxurious as it once looked, and it's thinning and ratty and gray is coming in, and under this dye job, man, I'm gray as fuck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but and I told my wife, and I'm practically, she's like, well, I'm slowly, my wife does my hair, I'm slowly making it grayer and grayer. So one day you're just going to wake up and you're going to have silver hair. Like, all right, I'm down with that. I'm like, Grandpa's got silver long hair now. I'm cool. So, but you just got to try and age. It's tough.
Well, you have to manage it, though. At least you're managing it. I think some people can get stuck in a space where it doesn't seem like they don't manage it, or they don't accept that things have changed some. Like you accept, it seems like, that you are, like as you say, which is a great term, elder statesman of rock. I fucking love that.
I mean, but, you're lucky to be one.
Right.
When I've got, these younger bands or whatever who look up to me, admire you or whatever, that's a blessing. So,
Yeah.
I got no problem with it. I got no problem, brother. I got
love
nothing. I got nothing but love out here. Yeah.
I love it, man. You take me to that moment where, you're putting the flyers on the cars. I can imagine when I got out here, there was a time where I didn't have a job. And so I thought, I'll clean out people's refrigerators. It's something that they don't want to do, right? Like not steal all the food, but I'll take all the stuff out, clean them really good, and then put the stuff back in. It's such a gross thing.
Yeah, like cleaning gutters.
Yes.
Cleaning gutter cleaner. You go chimney cleaners.
Right.
There's jobs people don't want to do. They'll absolutely pay someone else to do it.
So I was flying, bro. I would sneak out at night and just put flyers, like get out in the below people's apartment complexes and flyer all the car windows with it. And man, I remember getting called and invited over to people's houses sometimes to clean them out. And the first time I ever did anybody was like, this is the grossest.
Dirty Jobs. Has that ever been featured on Dirty Jobs? Cleaning, that show Dirty Jobs.
Yeah.
Cleaning refrigerators. It should be.
It's so
Theo
gross.
Vaughn.
And Mike Rowe, I'll say this about Mike Rowe, man. He tried to sell that show for like 5 years, and nobody thought it would be anything. He went everywhere. He got like 42 no's, and then finally somebody gave him a yes.
I had no idea.
And it was a hit.
That's
yeah,
such a popular thing.
He's an amazing man. But yeah, just to have that moment. At that moment, you always knew you were going to be a star. Before that, you said, did you still believe that you were going to be a star, or did you?
That was going to come back.
Yeah.
I was giving myself the motivational talks, I was, yeah. But as I sat there, and now we've got a shitty little rental house and, with 3 kids, and, my wife's making it as nice as possible. She's just, she's sewing curtains and doing the shit. I mean, she's down.
That's beautiful, man.
She is the shit. She's unbelievable, Suzette. And I'm working in the basement and I'm writing screenplays and TV shows and I'm going to the city doing voiceover auditions, and I've got a little metal show. I've just started doing radio. I mean, now I've been doing 25 years. And,
yeah, you had a metal show out
money.
of series syndicated out of.
Well, House of Hair is 20 years, but I did mornings talk radio for 3 years in Hartford, and Richmond,
Connecticut.
I did nights in Philly. I did Sirius XM for 3 years. So but I just starting out with a local metal show, 10 to midnight, running the board, doing the ads. I'm on the phone with the indie rep guys. I'm doing the whole thing, $3.75 an hour. Just trying to get into radio. But I had these moments where I'm going, you're gonna pull out of this, and the little voice goes, but what if you don't? What if this is it? What if you have you had your shot and you fucked it up? Get out of here. Just push that voice away, because that voice will just destroy you.
And you don't let it, though, but you didn't let it.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't let it let it. I just.
And was it you at that point that still couldn't let it? Was it still like your, because it sounds like you had a unique ego, one that didn't take you into some bad places, but really just left you with some extremely strong drive. Did you, at that point though, is it still just that inner monologue, that ego that you, or is it also like the kids and stuff like that? Is any of that affecting, or it's still all Dee Snider?
Oh no, well, a lot of people ask me because, after the demise of Twisted, demise of my musical career, I went and did so many things and was successful and brought myself back.
Yeah, you've done something, dude. You've done everything from writing to hosting to radio to
TV, reality, tons
everything.
Too much reality. To Broadway. I've been on Broadway. People ask me what drove you? And I said 10% inspiration, 90% desperation.
Wow.
And that desperation, that fear of that fall, of happening again, still drives me. I keep telling my wife, the other day I said, yeah, so we're entered, a bit in retirement mode. She's like, what? And I said, well, I'm sort of like easing up. She goes, come here. She goes, hands me a legal pad, one of those big, long yellow ones that's like a foot long. She goes, write down the things you're working on right now. I filled an entire page with things I'm working on in different stages. She goes, yeah, we're retiring. Yeah. I go, well, I mean, so, but I have this terror inside of me because it was such a brutal fall. It was so humbling and it was so ugly and it was so humiliating and devastating to the ego.
To the ego.
That I just started anything. If people would say, do you want it? I go, yes. And they go, I didn't say what yet. I'll do it. Whatever it is. I mean, literally. So when someone said, hey, you got a good voice, you do voiceover. Okay, what do I do?
Yeah.
You should be on radio. You could this, you that. I managed, like I said, anything. If I showed any inclination to be possibly do it, I just started trying to do it.
But no, did you feel like a sellout or did you feel like a survivor?
Well, this is the weird thing. So I'm still trying to keep I've still got fingers in rock and roll. Mm-hmm. First, it's was Widowmaker, and already the bottom's fallen out. So I'm trying to pull out of it with a new band. So I'm putting on the facade when I go out of still being a rock star, not letting people in and let them know the truth.
Wow.
Never invite them back to the house.
Yeah.
Never, so and why wouldn't they believe that Dee still had money left?
Will.
He made millions. Why? How? Who would assume he blew it?
Millions last forever, as far as people are concerned.
Yeah, right. Especially if he's not telling you he blew everything. So I'm putting on the facade and not letting people know. So when I'm walking around the streets, I've got the baseball hat on and hair's pulled back. At that point, that people aren't used to the pulled back hair. And if people say, "Hey, aren't you?" I go, no, I'm not. And my kids know. Everybody calls me Fred. My wife calls me Fred in the stores. Hey, Fred. And so she knows not to call me D. And so I'm hiding my shame, so no, I'm definitely, it was brutal, man. It was brutal.
But yeah, I feel to me, you really seem like a survivor. It's so hard. I don't think people realize how hard it is to stay relevant and working in this business for a lifetime.
Thank you, and I think you're paying me a comment, and I
am. It's impossible,
but it's not by design.
Right.
I saw an article in a business magazine that cited Dee Snider as branding himself. He used me as an example, and I was like, well, and it was beautiful the way they wrote out what I did, and they sort of broke it down and analyzed, like how how thought out this was.
And none of that was by design.
I was going, holy shit, no, I'm just, I actually would slam my name on everything. I would tell people, just put your name on everything. But even that started happening by accident.
Right.
Where it wound up being on a movie I did, Dee Snider's Strangeland. And then all of a sudden it was, okay, well, House of Hair, Dee Snider's House of Hair. And so it's slam, Dee Snider, Dee Snider, Dee Snider. But it was never some thought out, like
so
rebranding.
Funny. Right when you and I started communicating, I said, man, I don't know if there's anybody who's branded himself. That's the first thing that popped into my head. As well as Dee Snider.
And now I literally had to register my name. It's copywritten and it's a trademark. Dee Snider brand, But it was not some brilliant. I would love to say yes, I knew it all along.
So
no, just It was just like white noise of screaming in the darkness and just and made it work.
So it's not as much masterminding as much as it is just mining every moment, kind of.
Yeah, and just brute dumb force, just forcing it. Just it's a square peg, just fuck it. I can get it in the round hole. Somehow I'll wear the edges, whatever. It really, there's no genius to it at all. Honestly. Do I have talents? I clearly had some.
Undeniably.
And I developed them.
Yeah.
Because like radio, I always liked radio. My book was called Shut Up and Give Me the Mic. I love radio. I love the forum. But as my agent said, look, you don't walk off of a concert stage into a 6-figure radio gig. Mm-hmm. It happened once. David Lee Roth replacing Howard Stern. Anybody? You ever hear that? Remember that? Did you see that?
No.
You know that? Oh my God. It was catastrophic. Because just because you can sing doesn't mean you can be an air personality.
Yeah.
They're two different skills. So I had to go and do the metal show a couple hours a week and slowly develop that
had to put in the pieces.
Yeah, writing. I wrote the Twist Sister videos, but it's just me going, all right, well, the father's yelling at the kid, and then the kid turns into Dee Snider, and he kicks his ass. That was me writing the video.
Yeah.
With Marty Callner, credit to Marty Callner, the director, for developing and recognizing that I had some kind of brilliance. But then I said, well, I want to write these things, and I had to study screenplay writing. And I've sold a number of shows and a number of, I've got a number of things now and movies and things like that. I've had things produced, but that was a craft that you have to develop. It just doesn't come to you.
Now, was there a point so? It's amazing how you never did you ever second guess yourself? It doesn't seem like there's a lot of second guessing going on. Like a lot of people, and I find even in my own life that I can be indecisive, and I can really. That's one of my faults when I can really second guess myself. You don't really live right there. It doesn't sound like.
You know what? I don't know if this applies, but it's where it started. I was 16, not a popular kid in high school. It was just sort of like that weird. I was smart, but not smart enough to hang out with the geniuses. I was freaky, but I didn't get high. I was an A+ student in gym, but I had long hair, and I wasn't a jock. I didn't think the world was shaped like a football. So I just sort of had no place to hang out.
Did you realize that you didn't? Like, were you nerd?
Yeah, I realized I was just nerd. And just,
Did you feel like you were average?
No, I knew I wasn't average.
Right.
But same time, I just knew I didn't fit in. But I found myself sort of just becoming a wallflower, just sort of fading away because I didn't fit in high school. I didn't fit in. And I remember literally going, whoa, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. And one of the first things I started, like when people say, hey, how's it going? I would say, excellent. I just started like this positive reinforcement myself. Like I would always say, excellent. Yeah. It's going excellent. Everything was excellent.
And then people are jealous, like, fuck.
Well, they were going, what's going on with this dude? Yeah. And it wasn't true. It was just, I said, I'm going to make it a self-fulfilling prophecy. If I say it enough, I'll convince myself, and then I'll convince others, and it'll become a reality. So to this day, how you doing? Great. If I'm the shittiest thing in the world, awesome.
Yeah,
I'm doing awesome. and they said that there was a study that they once depressed people. They made them smile.
Yeah,
and they couldn't stay depressed.
And it helped.
They literally just by forcing them to smile, they say, okay, just keep smiling. It couldn't keep the depression going. It contradicts the signals you're sending your brain. So my brain was like, I am a fucking zero.
Yeah.
But if I keep saying I'm awesome, my brain's going to get confused, and it's going to start believing that this is actually a truth.
Did you?
Strange. I wasn't prepared for this conversation. I mean, I obviously sound prepared, but I wasn't.
No, man.
I didn't know what I was walking into.
It's okay. Look, I mean, I just think it's super fascinating. I mean, one of the most fascinating things I think is that you have managed to survive in a crazy world, and I thought you had the best branding. It was the first thing. It's just so funny you say that. I'm like, that guy just mastered the art. But to know that so much of it is just relentless, just like almost like you say, just screaming in the fucking room,
yeah,
until the sound just sticks to the walls. but that could to continue to happen over and over again, and you be in a place now where you're still positive, you're still creating, you're still doing things where other guys, even like our, like I would think of you these days, and this is no judgment to Andrew Dice Clay, but to me, like certain, like, that you almost get to, that as long as we stay on a course that we can not surpass, but we can stay healthy in a healthy state, whereas other people might not have the same state. It's fascinating to me. It's interesting, man. Well, did you have moments where it was too dark, though?
Other people.
Did you have moments where you checked out? Because I mean, I feel like there has to be like another side to like.
I had some crash moments, and it's not like, I would never. I come from an era where we didn't talk the word depression, anxiety. These weren't actually words.
Right.
There were words,
yeah,
but they weren't words that people you ever heard anybody apply to themselves. Peanut allergy. This is a phrase
we call them pussies.
I don't remember anybody bursting into flames when somebody brought in a Snickers bar to class, but apparently it happens now.
That's like adult asthma, bro. If you can't hang, get the fuck out.
I don't know. So so I never had like, I was in a depression or whatever, but I remember just moments of just mentally going, wow, the fuck did this happen? How did I get here? How did I let this happen? And I thought it was so fucking smart, because they'd read all the stories about all these rock stars who were drunk and stoned and didn't know what was going on. I had my hands in the pie. I was controlling everything.
You were sober. You were watching.
Yeah, no excuse. Somehow that's worse. Somehow, at least you can't, those guys can go, it wasn't my fault. It was my fault. I was a fucking idiot. Who does that? So I really beat the shit out of myself, honestly. Beat the shit out of myself.
Have you always been you must have probably not, but have you always been pretty tough on yourself?
Yeah. And anybody who's any good at what they do is their worst critic. I'm known for people, I'm not known enough for what I do best, and that is front a rock and roll band. There are a few.
Right, bro. I was watching some clips last night, man, and I felt amped up.
Few can hold a candle.
Almost jerked off to one of them,
It's what I do. Thanks.
But out of excitement, though, not of anything.
No, it was cute. I understand, man. It was no homo. So that's just, you don't hear that saying too much anymore.
It's coming back, though, bro. A lot of stupp's coming back fast. I think.
Is it?
I think.
I made a fairy joke the other day, and I apologize, and it was in like mixed up, and I said, am I that old guy who's like not PC and blurting out like old, racist words, but everybody said, no, it was great, and it was with a couple of gay people there. I think they were cool with it. It was, but at the same time, is it coming back or are you just like slipping up? That's what I want to know.
Well, I think people are starting to recognize that it's more about your intention and what you mean. Like Bill Burr, Chris D'Elia, who's a great comedian, he was just on here. He was saying that Bill Burr talks about how he's 50 years old now, and Bill Burr is looked at as like the voice of like the edge, like the edgy voice. Yeah. And Bill Burr has said, I'm not supposed to be the edgy voice. Like there's supposed to be a 22-year-old or a 23. You know what I'm saying? There's supposed to be that next edgy voice.
How weird is that?
That's not there, he says now. Because you can't, it's like we stopped that.
All right, this applies to so much. It applies to radio. All the great radio voices are aging out, personalities.
Yeah.
There's no farm league that's the next Howard Stern or the next, like they're not being cultivated for some reason. And I wonder if it's that they're not being cultivated or the and the PC is too general a term, but you understand what I'm saying, that we're cleaning everything up, all the rough edges, everybody's a winner and everybody, I saw Chris Rock and a bunch of other comedians, you may have seen it, talking, and they said when they stop bullying, that's the end of comedy. That basically all the great comedians were bullied.
And
And that bullying forces creativity.
Yeah.
Rock stars and unpopular kids. Those are the people who become, it's rarely, the Matthew McConaughey's of the world are like, there's not even, he's just a one of.
Yeah.
A one of, like, I was the most popular guy in school, handsomest, I was an athlete.
Everything's great.
I was in the fraternity, and it turns out I'm an Academy Award winning actor. Go figure. Day one. You know, that's those don't happen. Everybody else has got mental scars. They're damaged. And that's how we worked on our art, either literally art or music or comedy or whatever. It comes from being damaged.
Yeah, I remember.
So the point being, are we cleaning everything up so much and making it so safe that the young, edgy Bill Burrs, the 20-somethings, aren't there anymore?
Right.
You know what's weird is that in my generation, it's us that are getting offended. It's not our parents. Back in the day, it used to be the parents that were getting offended. It's like, hey, I don't want my kids listening to this stuff.
What a statement.
And
What a statement.
Now it's us that's doing it.
So true, man.
That is so. My daughter, she gets so pissed off. 21, she's a feminist. She's headbanger. She's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
She really is. But boy, she schools us. Like, we say one missed word, one dated. Not my wife said tranny the other day.
Yeah.
And my fucking daughter, she hangs. She sees the club scene and she hangs with the boys. And, and she said, Mom, I'm not going to take your head off this time, but how about getting the right terminology? It's trans. I said, but it was plural. How do you say? Is it transes? There's multiple trans.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, how do we, like, I remember the thing that probably ended up, it was years of like toiling around the playground and thinking that people hated me or I was less than or something, or like, or just being made fun, or just, it was your back against the wall made you fucking sprout whatever was going to come out of your chest, And
it's a sad reality, but it's true. I mean,
it can't be true.
My dad is 87. The guy in the videos, that's my dad.
Yeah.
Literally, what do you want to do with your life? That's my dad screaming at me. That whole video was based on my home life. Okay? And he was a cop that, hard ass, unemotional, fucking brutal. And I'm writing a Father's Day card out. I'm going, thank you. I did. I'm going, because he actually, at my mom's funeral, he mentioned in his eulogy to my mom, said, and maybe I was a little too tough on Dee. And then I'm
Wow.
yeah, but I mean, he literally apologized in the eulogy. I felt bad for him that he was like reflecting. But as I was sitting there going, am I happy with the man I am?
Yeah.
And why am I the man I am? Why am I tough? Why did I survive? Why did I, fight the way I fought? Because he was so fucking tough on me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you. I don't regret it. I do it again. And I can't believe I wrote that because I hated that motherfucker. Wow. He was the definition. We're not going to take it. Was him.
Yeah.
All my songs were him. You fucking bust my balls. I'm going to show you, motherfucker. And now I'm going, I love you, Dad. And thank you for making me the man I am. But I mean it.
But you mean
I can't believe I'm looking back going, if he didn't do that, if he was that everybody's number one dad and you're great, son.
That would be nothing.
I would not.
Be? Yeah, what would you be?
Well, I did have a discussion with him once because he tried to take credit for my career many years ago. He said, if I wasn't so tough on you, this is before I realized, you wouldn't be the success you are. I said, yeah? How do you know I wouldn't be happier as a well-adjusted accountant? Just sitting in my cubicle crunching numbers and smiling. No emotional scars, nothing.
Yeah.
But it's weird. What about you? Given a choice. Okay, now all of a sudden I'm taking the show over. So what about you? So you said you weren't that. You're funny and you got your comedy.
But now I don't think I developed that fire if I don't have any turmoil, if nothing. Like we didn't have any money to go play sport. Like I couldn't go play sports because my mom was like, if you get hurt, You're going to just be that kid that's hurt. You're going to be that, if you you break your collarbone, you're going to be that kid whose shirt doesn't fit. That's what she said. And so then I just pictured myself always like this. So, but it was just like, there was something.
I couldn't go for sports because I didn't have money.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have money, a family. There was no allowance. You wanted any money in the pocket, you had to go sell newspapers and mow lawns. So kids who went out for sports, they had an allowance.
Yeah, they were. They were living high on the hog.
Yeah.
I remember they had their nice, just sports socks or whatever. And I was like, man,
I guess I didn't think about the broken thing because my dad was a cop, so he had that civil servant medical program. So we'd be fixed.
I love that.
We knew we'd be fixed.
Right. Fixed, they call it back then. No, but I just think it's fascinating. Did you guys? You know a lady named Farnaz Farjam? Did you ever do a Bunna Murray show?
No.
Oh, I thought I remember they did this show about rock wives a while back.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Suzette, we were on Rockwise. Who's the person?
Farnaz was this lady's name.
I don't remember that name, but we were definitely Rockstar Wives thing.
Yeah. I thought I remembered actually at one point meeting a group of the ladies came out to a comedy show, I think, or they did stand up comedy show. I remember meeting them one time.
Oh.
Just kind of crazy. Anyway, what about this? So, completely outside of political stuff, you worked with you were on Apprentice with Donald Trump once.
I did 2.5 seasons pretty much on that show.
And I'm not trying to get into anything political. I'm just I was going to ask you, what did you think about Donald just in the show space? Like, what did you think he was like?
I've been asked about this a lot because after I was on the end of the finale of the John Rich
year, with the John Rich, and then you went for
in the next year. Then I came in for the All-Stars, and during the course of that time, I became friendly with the Trumps. With
I love
Donald,
Ivanka's so hot. Is she hot in person?
with the kids, yeah, beautiful. but beyond that, cool people, gracious people, charitable people, and so we became friendly, and it was cool. But I said to people, the rules of socializing: don't talk about sports, don't talk about religion, don't talk about politics.
Yeah,
which we didn't. I mean, I have one of my best friends. I wear a Yankee hat. He wears a Boston hat. We have never mentioned our hats because he's one of my best friends. The day that I say that he mentions my hat, we're over.
Right.
We are fucking over because that's oil and water right there. They ain't mixing. So, but we never mention hats. We wear our hats and everything.
I love that.
Everything's fine. So
I love that.
I got along great with the Trumps. Then, and I say, and people, can you understand what I'm saying to you? How you can be friends with somebody and not know what their political, I know what religion they were. I know their political affiliations, what teams they like. Yeah. We get socialized. Then all of a sudden he goes on the political stage and whoa, I'm not down with that. I'm not down with that.
Right.
And so Diddy said the same thing the other day. And he said the same thing, that, yeah, I was friends. We were friends. But when you, all of a sudden you realize that where you stand differs so much.
Yeah.
The relationship suffers. And another thing I say to people is, you can be friends with somebody. Can you name like one of your friends, Theo, that you would say, yeah, I'd support him as president of the United States?
None.
Zero. I don't know. One of my one friend,
Zero.
including Donald Trump. Not one. Why? We know them, and they know us. They know shit that nobody wants to know.
It's an outdated job almost.
Somebody says it really is like they get $500,000 a year,
yeah,
and they really aren't in control.
They're not.
Yeah, there's a lot of chatter, but ultimately they're not.
I wonder if it's fun. I wonder if he has fun doing it. That's what I
hear.
Because I don't have.
This is going to be wind up a blabbermouth or something. But I know. Like I said, I know people.
I have friends that are friends with him.
Yeah, they're not really enjoying it.
Yeah,
it's not the way he lived. I mean, look, I've been to his house.
It was awesome, huh?
Yeah, he's slumming at the White House. He stepped down. I've been on the Trump jet. He's slumming on Air Force One. Slumming. There's no gold anything on Air Force One. It's nothing but gold and marble. Pink marble and gold and mahogany. Okay, so he is. That's why Ivanka, whatever his wife is, Melania just stays in New York.
I don't
They
blame
said,
her.
I'm like, ew, the Lincoln bedroom, ew, ew, colonial. What? Who uses
Who does colonial
Who
anymore?
goes colonial anymore? So I think but I do believe he believes he's doing a job that needs to be done,
Yeah.
a service.
Yeah.
And and he believes in the service he's doing.
Yeah,
his way.
I believe that too. That's a great question. That's a great question to anybody. Who would you even put in there? Like, I can't even think of a couple. Like, I almost feel like I'm friends with Howie Mandel. I almost feel like Howie Mandel would possibly be good because
Except for the OCD
Right.
and I can't get any germs on me thing.
Right.
That's a little bit, that speaks volumes.
But he would fit, yeah. But just to see him fist bumping other world leaders, I think would be pretty cool. But otherwise, you're right. I hate the fact that we don't also recognize sometimes that we are all like broken, imperfect individuals.
And this is why I say I believe that kids, young people admire, everybody looks up to rock stars because and comedians, we wear our hearts on our sleeves.
Yeah.
There's no secret.
Yeah.
People say, you should run for office. I said, well, A, no. B, if I did, there's pictures of me wearing lingerie. Yep. I'll give them to you. There's no secrets.
Right.
We've got no secrets. And there's an honesty to that.
Yeah.
That you don't see in any other job. The honesty of comedians, the honesty of musicians and actors to an extent. Every other in the arts we're honest. Outside, they're hiding all that shit.
Yeah. Well, it's gotten so much more controlled. I think the arts have become such a business, and you may have noticed this as well with music, like that. There's almost two worlds you can get in. You can get into some of the mainstream stuff that's that's more controlled because there's more advertising dollars and stuff over there, or you can kind of stay in this middle lane between the fringe and mainstream, where it's like everything's still great. There's still like advertising money and people coming on board, but I feel like you can hold on to a little bit more of your beliefs and speak your mind a little bit more. And I think you see that a lot with podcasts. Like, podcasts are booming today. Like, Joe Rogan is like the Tonight Show. It's like you go on Joe Rogan, it's like I felt like I'd gone to the moon. When I got a text from Joe Rogan one night and he said, come on the podcast, brother, I felt like I'd just gotten approached by Johnny Carson. Like, it was like, it's just because there's more freedom.
Hey, show. I thought you were a fan. I've interviewed you on my radio shows. I thought before you had a podcast, I clearly remember you being a fan. Come on, brother. I got a new album coming out.
I love it. Let's talk
about
it's
very smart. Very interesting. And that is an interesting thing, though. We could go all over the fucking place. This is your show, not mine.
No, look, man, I'm just, I admire you, really.
I'm just saying, what about, what's the dance that we have to do with the political landscape the way it is? Trying, John Rich said it best. John Rich, who's very right wing. And Trump asked him to play at his inauguration, and John said, he said to him, listen, I want everybody to buy my records.
Yeah.
Even though he's gun-toting cowboy, this, that, the other thing, a righty-tighty, he still doesn't want to make that distinction.
Yeah.
So clear.
Right.
That I'm choosing sides.
Right.
And I know Rogan, everybody, we got to kind of walk a line because it's so severe. People get really fucking upset when you pick a side.
Do you feel like it's as severe as the news makes it out to be and the media makes it out to be? Maybe it is. People are kind of divided more than ever. Okay,
Christmas at the Snider house. My mother, may she rest in peace, is in the hospital dying. We have the family Christmas, and over politics, it literally, my big dumb family it's nearly throwing down.
Wow.
It came close to fisticuffs at the family Christmas with our children, our grandchildren, all around, great-grandchildren. There's 50 of us now. Mom's on life support, and it just about erupted.
Wow.
People had to be pulled out of the room.
Was it and so your mother passed away?
Yeah, she did. It was really ugly, brutal.
Oh.
Hit by she was 85, this vibrant art teacher, artist, active in the community, drove a car. I mean, she was just 100%.
Yeah.
No medical history, no meds, no. I used to say, Mom, I look at you and I'm thinking, all right, man, I think it's gonna be pretty genetically. If I got your shit, I'm gonna be pretty cool. And hit by a car, brain damaged, vegetable, 2 months, life support, pretty much life support, and then died. And it was from between Halloween and she died on January 2nd. It was ugly. But the point is, I'm not looking for an awe moment here, people.
No,
it was
fine.
tragic. That's the thing is, it's just that's life. And that's one thing that makes you say is, shit. You never know when that the fickle finger of fate is gonna get you.
Come looking for you.
Yeah, it's just.
Was she pretty proud of you? Do you think your mom was real proud of you?
Not a big fan. She's not a fan. She had her moments, so she was proud. When I was on Broadway, because they were like at the theater. So when there was somebody, I remember they got the picture and they stand in front of the marquee, starring Dee Snider, Rock of Ages. They like that. When Celine Dion recorded a Christmas song I wrote for my wife, which is like a legit Christmas song. She was very proud of that. But when I'm not so proud, we're not going to take it.
In hindsight, when you look back on that, like as you wrote music and you had hits, and did you then start to feel pressure to write hits and not write from like a place of
Absolutely. You know the answer to absolutely. You just and
is it human nature, you think?
Yeah. Well, also. Well, because it's like when you're an executive, you're struggling in the corporate world, and you're working, and and you're just taking chances, and you're coming up with ideas, and suddenly like you get the winner idea, and they give you the corner office, the big raise, the view, and all of a sudden you're going, shit, I don't want this to end. Now you're starting to second guess now I got to stay here. How'd I do that? I remember sitting poolside. The big house, the cars, the boats. I'm sitting poolside and I'm trying to write the next song about teen angst. And literally I go, yeah, I got nothing. I mean, 2 years earlier, we're not going to take it, motherfucker. And now I'm like, no, I'm definitely taking this. And I'm definitely, this is awesome.
And the IRS is
this is awesome. I don't want this to ever stop. So now, like panicking, and now you're thinking about it.
Yeah.
And that's, you've lost that. My album was called Stay Hungry, but it's hard not to lose that. That's what I love about new bands. And my kids are all headbangers. They take me out to the shows, and they've got that. I always say the most dangerous person in the room is the one with nothing to lose. Nothing. They just got, you can do, kill me? So, and that's, you see these bands and they're hungry. They got no record sales. They got nothing but passion and heart. And it's just out there saying, fuck you, I'm rocking. And that, I just feed off that like a vampire. It's like, I don't like to listen. I love the past, but I just don't want to spend my days listening to old bands and old artists and old music. Give me some new shit. I got to, like a vampire. I want to feed off that energy, that fuck you.
Yeah.
We just bookend the whole show. It started with fuck you, and it's ended with a fuck you.
Well, I want to know about your new album then, man. Hit me with a little bit of information about it, or your new project.
For the love of metal, I thought in 95, I stopped writing new songs because I said, my time's done. It's a different era, a different age. Let them do their other people have the limelight. And I just thought and then I put out an album last year, a mainstream rock record. That didn't work. I'm like, you know what? I'm doing great. Fine. I'm on the Jamie Josta podcast. Josta says, I've got a challenge for you. Do a contemporary metal record. I said, who's producing? He said, I will. I said, and who's writing the songs? Because, dude, every time I write a song, it's like another, we're not going to take it. I'm like, you studied in ancient philosophy, And he goes, Dee, you're Dee Snider, man. You're an icon. Everybody's going to want to write. I said, well, let's do it.
Wow.
So with no budget, no record deal, nothing, we just start going in the studio and creating. And we do the first song. I was like, oh, fuck. And I'm going, oh, fuck, this fuck is this is cool. And they're going, fuck, this is better than we thought it was going to be. You know, contemporary metal, but with an iconic rock voice, just roaring. And I'm just like, I can just click in the zone.
You're feeling
and
it.
so and then now all of a sudden, Jamie's phone's blowing up. People from Lamb of God, Disturbed, Killswitch Engage. You know, they're like, Dee's recording, man. We got music. So everybody, Howard Jones is in there just singing and all these people, and it's just, and we've got no money. We're just doing it for love. We're doing it passionate.
Yeah.
We're doing inspiration. We're having fun. And I'm loving it. They're loving working with me. I'm loving just I told you,
the energy.
I'm a vampire. I want that new blood. I want that new energy. So then we finish the record, and there's a bidding war from all the major metal labels. Everybody wants it. Like, holy shit, this is like really happening. So before we had the bidding war and all that, Jamie comes in and goes, I got the title for the record, For the Love of Metal. And I'm like, that's it. Because this is what it's been.
And you knew it right then when he said it.
Well, because that's what it was.
That's what it was.
There was no money. There was no people with spare time coming in. It was just passion. It was just pure passion. People were having a good time doing it, singing, you know, angry and hostile. But to say that's the beauty of metal is afterwards you feel good. Did you see that study that said headbangers, metalheads were better adjusted people than adults emotionally? Oh yeah,
I could totally see that.
It was a major study. And then now I just did an interview with Psychology Today. They're doing a big piece because now they're going, well, what's going on? And I said, well, I could have told you that a long time ago because it's a release for all the dark emotions.
Yeah.
Hate, fear, depression, anxiety, broken hearts, whatever the dark emotions,
The dark arts.
That's heavy metals. That's our bread and butter.
Yeah.
But we feel better after. You get out of the pit and you're laughing.
Yeah.
You know, I sang a song on the record. It's called "Roll Over You," and it's fuck you from beginning to end. The chorus is literally a group singing, "We fucking despise you. You got no heart in your soul. We fucking despise you." And so I get to the end of the song, and I just get to the end, and I get to the end, and I say, "So fuck you." And then I just start laughing. And the laugh is on the record. And they'll go, well, how are you laughing after singing such an angry song? I said, I'm laughing because I sang such an angry song and I feel better because I let that out. Somebody this morning said to me, you know what? Maybe we should just wake up in the morning going, fuck you. And then start the day.
Yeah.
Like start with a fuck you, just get that out of the way.
Yeah.
And then say, okay, you know what? Feel better already.
Get it off your chest.
Yeah,
That's your
fuck
coffee.
you, man. Yeah.
Dude, I went skydiving recently, D, and you ever been skydiving?
No. I've watched my wife jump out of a plane now.
Dude. And it was the first time in a long time. When I was in the air, I could just scream, bro. And you can't do that in LA without your neighbors calling or somebody's going to get upset. Like, I screamed, bro, and I screamed for like 40, just let it out of me. And I never felt so relieved, man.
Riding a motorcycle has got that feature.
Really?
Yeah, when you're riding in the wind and you're blasting down, you can sing full voice. Nobody can hear you. The bike's drowning you out, and you're just like, fuck! You just let it run, other than people seeing, oh, look at D, man. His mouth is like a fucking cavern.
He's still rocking
He's still rocking D. He's just losing his shit on that motorcycle.
When can we check it out, man? When can For the Love of Rock?
For the Love of Metal.
That's
all right. It's okay. It's For the Love of Metal. The first single just came out. It's called Tomorrow's No Concern. It went to metal radio. It's heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
So that's out now. I'm filming 2 videos. I got I Am the Hurricane coming out in a couple weeks, and then I've got a couple videos coming out a couple weeks after that. And the full album gets released July 27th.
Awesome.
For the Love of Metal, pre-orders are going on now. And so far, I haven't been this pumped about something in a long time. And initial reactions from people, hearing it, responses. Well, 50% is like, I was not ready for that. Like, Dee Snider, full on 63, raging on some new metal. Shit, not NU. Yeah. New, NEW, new metal. Fuck me. Was not ready for that. How cool. And I'm like, you know what? I love that. I love surprising people. And I love, I did a record called D Does Broadway, Why? Because I wanted to. And I'm singing with Patti LuPone and BB Newirth, rocked out Broadway classics. And my manager goes, who's going to buy this? I said, probably nobody, but I wanted to do it. I just, and people are like, what the fuck is Dee doing? I don't know. Just keep them guessing, man.
Dude, sheer
like your
will.
hair.
Yeah.
Like your hair. Just keeps them guessing. You did your opening, man, their hair thing. Like, what's going on with your hair?
Oh, that gender neutral style.
Yeah. It's just like, is it a mullet? And I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, people made fun of, well, what I didn't like was people made fun of like, people where I was from, it was like, oh, they don't accept people if people are gender neutral. There was always this thing like the news would go find some weirdo in Kentucky who, doesn't want to build a bathroom. Well, of course he doesn't want to. There's nobody, everybody he knows uses one or the other,
Right.
He can't get the permit. He probably didn't have the money for it. So to bother the dude about building a fucking extra restroom. But anyhow, I'm like, we've been supporting gender neutral. Like people in my neighborhood have had women's haircuts. The men have had them since I was born, bro. So you're gonna say you want to go wear a woman's haircut for a month, dude?
I think it's a byproduct of the invention of the Flowbee. Was that the Flowbee, the thing that vacuums the hair and cuts it for you?
Yeah.
It's like, technically it works, but I'm not. What the fuck's coming out on the other side?
I know, a mitten. I think it makes a mitten for you. I got a gift too from you today. This is from our sponsor, Ridge Wallet.
Oh, damn.
And they have
beautiful.
It's really cool, man.
I like it.
They do this. It's just a dope bag. It's black. It'll fit you. And then one of these Ridge wallets that I use too. And you can take one.
Thank you.
It's basically like a new wallet they made. It's like a front wallet. So it's like, you keep all your credit cards or whatever if you want. You can't carry that condom around anymore, but you can still rock,
Damn, I had my shit tied up anyway, so it's all good.
But yeah, there you go. So it's just a new item,
damn.
They're pretty cool.
Damn, I like it. That's very cool. Thank you, Ridge.
No, yeah.
Hello, Ridge.
And thank you. Dude, I'd love to have you come back sometime and just think about other stuff. I'd love to think about
I got a place in the area. That was kind of weird.
It's good.
Because we live in Belize. We built a house on the ocean.
Really?
Yeah, right on the
You
water.
mentioned that.
It's like I got to get on the safe side of the wall.
Did you?
I just want to be. I'm just gonna watch the mushroom crowd.
Did you owe that to your wife at a certain point where you were like, okay, I gotta get?
We owed it to each other.
Yeah.
We just because people talk, and I'm talking to you people out there, but we all talk about one day we're gonna.
Yeah.
One day we're going to get that motorhome and go travel around. One day we're going to buy a sailboat and we're going to sail. One day we're going to, but most people never pull the trigger because it's scary. It's a commitment. It's and a lot of times it involves a big move. It means leaving behind your connections and all this stuff like that. And most people don't pull the trigger. And we got to that point. We always talked about wanting to build a house down in the Caribbean, on the beach. And then the kids all moved out, and we're like, well, are we going to be those people who talked about it or those people who did it?
Wow.
I remember my uncle, my father's brother, he always said, we got to retire. He was another cop. I retire, I'm moving to Virginia, I'm getting a farm. And he said that his entire life. And then he retired. He goes, okay, I'm moving. I'm going to getting a farm. My father goes, where are you going? And he said, I told you I'm getting a farm. Yeah, but nobody does it.
That.
I mean, you talk about getting the farm. You don't actually buy the farm.
Yeah.
But I want to be one of those people that did it. So we built the house down there. We live down there most of the time. But we keep an apartment here that we can, because we got our kids and our grandkids out here. So.
And how's it been? How now, having done that, has it been as rewarding as you expected? Have you felt separate? Have you felt alienating? Or what has it been like?
Feel like I'm cheating death.
Really?
I feel like it's it actually feels so heaven-like that we're going like, if I one day God walked in and goes, by the way, you're actually dead. I'll go, oh shit. Oh well, yeah, this works. Yeah. The beach. I get up in the morning. I don't watch the news ever. We have got cable and everything.
Yeah, I don't
sit under
either.
my palapa, drinking my coffee, looking at the ocean, watching the sun come up, and going, this is cool. This is cool. So so it's not a disappointment on any level.
Has it been hard to relax a little bit? I mean, you're a scrapper. You're a guy who's is it hard to relax?
My wife would say yes, yes and no, because I focus. That's when I do a lot of writing. I've been doing a lot of writing, book writing, screenplay writing. You know, I wrote a musical, and so I do a lot of writing. And in there, I love it. I just sit down into my palapa by the beach, and I got great internet too. And I just on my computer and just get creative. So I am producing on another level.
You're a creator.
Yeah.
Is it do you think that creativity, obviously it's a blessing, but there's times probably when it's also it's too much. It's a curse kind of in a way because you can't stop it.
God, we could be here for friggin' days. No, I mean, I'm having a great time. It's like I don't necessarily want to end this conversation.
Yeah, no. Well, it's one of the questions I had originally written down.
No,
it was like
I prefer. You asked me
that enlightenment can be hectic.
You asked me about. Okay, this is. I'll tell you. I train myself. God, I am kind of like Yoda-ish, but I train like I said, I was myopic. Now I do so many things. My son, who's a filmmaker, he says, Dad, it just blows my mind. I'll watch you change from job to job to job while you're sitting there and you just switch gears. But that was I had to train myself literally mentally. I'm changing hats.
Yeah.
So I'm going from, okay, I'm working on new music. Oh, now I'm working on a screenplay. Oh, now I'm doing a voiceover gig. Now I have to do my radio show. I just mentally, I'm actually changing hats. And I've gotten really good at it.
And it was more of a
necessity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a necessity
and the same,
for you.
Now, the other thing was I had the problem where the creativity just came out like it just was just pouring out and I couldn't stop it, but I couldn't document it. So it was, I wouldn't remember the song I was thinking about because I don't have like photographic memory. I don't have a photogenic memory. It doesn't look good in pictures. Yeah. But I trained myself to shut the faucet off, literally. And this is going to make some people are going to be like, you scumbag. And I would just turn it on when I was ready. So case in point, Stay Hungry album, the biggest album I ever did. My wife was going to the store to go grocery shopping. My son was just born, asleep in the crib in our studio apartment. And my wife said, I'm going to the stores. I'll be back in about an hour. I said, okay, man. She left. I said, maybe we'll do a little writing. Pulled out my song title list, which is what I work off of. And I wrote the Stay Hungry album. The biggest album of my career in 45 minutes. I wrote the guts of I Want to Rock, We're Not Going to Take It, The Price, all of these songs, the entire record in 45 minutes, and then turn the faucet off, stop thinking about creativity, and then I have to write the words, and because I actually wrote probably 40 ideas, but in those 40 ideas that I just vomited out, sorted through them, and those songs were all in the vomit. Just cleared the peas and carrots off of it and wiped off the goo and polished them up. And it was, but the end, I was trained myself to turn the faucet off because otherwise and then it becomes a frustration.
Yes.
That you can't get the ideas down. You forgot that joke and oh my God, I had a great idea. Fuck, what was that thing again? And it's never as funny as when you first thought of it.
Even as you're saying that, I'm thinking, I have to start to think just times when I control it and times when I don't, and times when I set myself aside and say, hey, this is a great time to sit down right now and write and really focus on that. Or, and let that vomit happen, man.
I got to go. I got to the bathroom. I've got, I'm shooting 2 videos tomorrow. It's 2 videos. It's like.
No, it's good. And this
back
is the
in
new
the day,
album.
hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was making a movie.
Yeah.
Now it's like $5,000 a piece.
Yeah.
You go in and it's like.
But you can do it all yourself.
2 videos, yeah. But it's also the money's just not there in the business anymore.
Right, but it can be I find in your own pocket because you can create it yourself and Yeah. But dude, thank you so much, Dee, for coming in, man. We really appreciate it, and we'll share out the new album and we'll share out the videos as soon as they pop up. Anything we can do.
You
to
gotta
help
let
out.
me know when you're performing again locally.
Yeah.
Just email me, text me, whatever. I want to know. I really enjoy you.
Yeah, man.
I mean, watching you go to see
it.
these shows. And my son was at one point was a comedian. Then he started his mental health got improved and he stopped. And he stopped being manic depressed.
It's an affliction.
Yeah. He was doing all right. He was one of Caroline's like summer pics.
Oh, nice. In New York?
In New York, she gave him his own show, and she does that. She does the pics, and she picked him. So he was slogging it out, and he ended on a high note. That was like his last one. He met a girl, started feeling better emotionally,
that'll help.
and he says, "You know what? It's just so brutal."
Yeah.
Being a stand-up, and I've been friends with Goldthwait and Kinnison and so many comedians, and I've just got such respect for the work. In a rock band, you got a gang up there, you got the noise, people that you suck. You can always see them saying you suck. You guys are up there with your dick in your hand, man. Well, and when somebody goes, "You suck," it's like there's no ignoring it.
Yeah, you can't look at your drummer.
You can't. You say, I can't hear you. It's right there. Has to be dealt with in some capacity. And you guys have the most dangerous job.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Mike. Back to Mike Rowe. But man, sheer will. I love it, dude. You're an inspiration, man, and I love your sheer will. Your just tenacity to fucking achieve through survival, man. It's cool, man, and I admire it. And
Thanks.
if you ever die, dude, I'm gonna drink your blood right out of your body, bro.
Please.
I'll take a couple pints of Dee Snider.
I just wish I could just stick a flash drive or something just right in the base of my medulla oblongata right there and just download the shit. Because God, you die with so much information. It's
Crazy,
just a waste. Here, take it. Run with it, man.
Yeah.
Run with it, somebody.
Run with it. I love that.
Yeah, run with it.
We'll see you in the future, D.
Great being on this past weekend with Theo Vaughn.
Yeah, thank you, Dee Snider.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone. Oh, but when I reach that ground, I'll share this peace of mind I found. I can feel it in my bones, but it's gonna take a little time for me to set that parking brake and let myself unwind. Shine.